Hi everybody, it's the bearded geographer here. Hope you're okay. Decided to record another walkthrough video on Friday the 13th, which is very ominous, but I hope this is useful for you. Only going to go through the Living World section of this AQA Paper 1 mock that we used at my school. So this is not an official paper, this is just a mock. Just remember, I'm not here to give you the answers, I'm here to talk you through how to pick apart the questions so that you can listen to a geography teacher and an examiner walking you through how to pick these questions apart. I'm only doing sections at a time to try and keep these a bit quicker. So it is 8:20 right now, so I'm going to try and be done for, let's go for 25 to 9, so 15 minutes. Here we go. So we've got Living World. First of all, we have to use figure 6 to identify a decomposer. This is where our revision comes into play. So looking at figure 6, we can see that our decomposers are the earthworms and the bacteria. Done, dusted, 1 mark. 2-2. Using figure 6, state one effect on the food web if the disease killed most of the squirrels. I always say to my students with this, just slow down. Okay, read the figure, take your time. With food webs, what you have to understand is sometimes they can be going from bottom to top. Sometimes they can be going pretty much from sort of left to right. Okay, with arrows going up and down and all over. What we can see here is the squirrels are here. So if the amount of squirrels went down, the amount of seed would go up. You could say the amount of hawks could go down because they've got less food to consume. So there you go. Just state, you don't have to describe, just state what would happen. So the amount of hawks would go down. Okay, study figure 7. Again, slow down. Your revision should indicate to you that the biomass is basically living things in an ecosystem. The litter is basically dead biomass. And then the soil is indeed the soil. The larger the circle, the more nutrients there are. So we're looking at this question. Deforestation is causing huge damage to tropical rainforests around the world. Explain, with reference to figure 7, how this might affect the nutrient cycle. Take your time, read it through. Deforestation means that there will be a reduction in the biomass, and what your revision will tell you is that it is basically trees are producers, or plants and trees are producers, but you know what, we'll broaden it out, we'll call it flora are producers. They create their own nutrients through photosynthesis, so without or with less producers, there will be less nutrients within the ecosystem, within that nutrient cycle. So basically break it down. Questions like this are quite long. Again, just slow down. Okay, slow down, read it carefully. Questions like this, it's also good to bug. So box the command word, because as you can see, if I just grab my highlighter, the command word is halfway down the question. Very cheeky. Okay. Outline one reason why tropical rainforests have value to people. Outline is your command word. When you see outline, it's basically a hidden explain. Explain why tropical rainforests have value to people. For my students, one reason, so this is evidence comment, or you might know this as point explain. Okay. Loads here you could talk about. You could talk about medicine. You could talk about tourism, ecotourism, resources, that sort of thing. So anywhere along those lines. Okay. This is how you can tell. This is just a mock that we've used at my school. Because normally in an exam this would be 2 marks, because usually in your proper AQA exams, if that's what you're studying, you will get a mark for showing. You'll get a mark for working if your answer's incorrect. So if your working is generally correct but your answer's wrong, then you'll get a mark. Percentage decrease. What you want to be doing is you want to find your difference between 2004 and 2020. So you find the difference. Okay, and then you take that difference and you divide it by the original. So you divide it by the original and you times it by 100. Okay. Some of my students remember this as, let me try and get this right, D-di-O. So D-di-O. Difference, diff-di-O. That's what I say, diff-di-O. Difference, divide, original. That's how they remember it, diff-di-O. Okay, so diff-di-O. Difference, divide, original. Hey, look, if it works, it works. Okay, I've got literally under 10 minutes. Trying to keep these short and sweet to help you out. Okay, you know this. I've mentioned it already. You've got a figure. First thing you do, slow down, read it. So we have got here, trying to mess about with my highlighter a little bit. So we have got something from the BBC. I don't know why that highlighter is so big. We've got more than about 100 world leaders. They want to reverse deforestation at COP26. We've got Brazil, obviously home to the Amazon, have signed up as well. The pledge also includes 14 billion in funds, so just pick it apart. And when you have a look, it says suggest. Suggest is basically just explain. Let's see my pen now. Suggest is basically, it's upset. It's basically just explain. So it's to explain how international agreements can reduce deforestation. So what you're understanding here is collective action, okay, leads to a wider impact. Okay. And then you want to use your figure as well. All right. So you're saying something along the lines of international agreements encourage collective action between countries. This can bring about a wider impact. For example, from figure 9, I can see more than 100 leaders, including Brazil, more than 100 countries, including Brazil, have signed up to the deforestation pledge. Okay. Really important here that you're revising. Okay, because if you struggle to understand what international agreements are, this question is locked. Okay, so you have to really kind of understand what that means. So your revision of your key terms is key. Pie charts in conjunction with an X and a Y axis. Slow down, take your time, read it. You've got here level of desertified land, level of desertification in 3 continents. Using figure 10, what is the total amount of desertified land in Asia? If you look here, amount of desertified land, and we can see that the answer is there. So it's 750. So with that one there. Okay, 2.8. Nearly there. I think we might be on here for about 15 minutes, which is an achievement. Okay, questions like this in your exams, they are as classic as they come. Okay, this is a question that you should really get your teeth sunk into because they're just straightforward. So you've got plants and animals adapt in the tropical rainforest to survive. Explain. Okay, so for my students, I would teach this as evidence, comment, stretch times 2. Or you could do point, evidence, explain times 2. Okay, pardon me, late there, times 2. There you go. So you're thinking here about what animals you've studied for the rainforest and what plants you've studied. You only need 1 per, so 1 animal, 1 plant. I'm not going to go into the detail of those animals and plants because your school will teach you the relevant ones there that that your ones that you look into. But what I want to really talk about here is you want to make sure you're linking back to the question. So the question is asking you to talk about how they adapt to survive. So really what you want to be doing is when you get in to your stretch and your final explain, you need to really be linking back, okay? So I know for some of you, you will not do peel, or do PEE, you'll do peel, okay? Point evidence explain link. So really what you want to be saying here, let's pick one for example. So let's say you picked buttress roots for the trees. So you got your buttress roots, okay? And then what you would do is you describe them. So what do they look like? Then you would add a comment or explain, so how do they work? So they help the tree to maintain, say, stability and gather nutrients, okay? But then in that final section, that's when you want to really be sort of hitting the head with this adapt to survive. So then you want to be saying that it helps the tree to survive, okay, because, well, with stability, it stops it from falling over in windy rainforests, and with the nutrients, it can gather them from the soil surface, okay, which allows the tree to continue basically surviving and competing, okay. What you might also know as well is it's not just the trees are not just for stability because it's windy, but also it allows it to grow tall so it can reach the sun, okay. So yeah, as I say, questions like this are just some of the best ones you'll come across, and these kind of questions do come up. So slow down, bug it, and get stuck into it. If you have a real mare, examiners can mark bullet points. So if you just want to bullet point some facts, then get them in. For example, if you simply wrote, I don't know if I keep saving that PDF, I am sorry about that. If you simply just wrote for this, trees in the rainforest have buttress roots. These can be up to 5 meters wide and help the tree to collect nutrients from the surface of the soil. I would argue that's at least 2 marks. Obviously, I don't have a mark scheme in front of me, but that would probably be at least 2 marks. So don't be afraid to get something down, even if it's simple. Right, last question. Nearly there. So we have got figure 11 and figure 12. So we've got a hot and a cold environment. Now I'm going to focus on the hot environment just because that's what my school studies. But if we just have a little bit of a look. So let's bug it. Desertification is increasing due to human factors. Discuss this statement using figure 11 and your own understanding. And it is 9 marks. So you'd be ticking that box because that's what my guys do, or the cold one. Okay. What we're understanding here is basically desertification, simply put, is the growth of the desert. Okay. And it's asking us to discuss this statement. Now, don't let the command word throw you off here. Don't be scared by it. What it's basically saying to you more than anything else is, just really explain it. Okay, we could get into the real technicalities of what it wants, but just see it as, look, it wants you to really get into some detail about it. It's a 9 mark question. So for my guys, it would be evidence, comment, search times 3. For other people, it could be peel times 3. Okay? So you're getting into that detail. So you're sort of saying, well, actually, it is caused by human factors. So you might want to put a little plan on your exam document. So you might pop in, let's put a little H here. Okay, you might put, right, yeah, it's due to over farming, okay, or over grazing or over cultivation, all linked. But then you might be like, well, actually, no, it is linked to other factors as well. You could say it's linked to climate change. Okay, so natural climate change, which we know is happening. Humans are just kind of amplifying the problem. But then you're like, So you're discussing it, you're saying, well, it is to do with humans, but it is also a physical problem. But then you're arriving back and saying, well, actually, no, but humans are causing big problems, because when farmers deforest, it rips the trees up, and their roots are no longer able to hold the soil together, and they are no longer able to provide shade to keep the soil and the ground cooler, so that encourages desertification. With something like this, it's easy for me to say, because I know it's difficult, but it's all about your revision. Okay, when you get a question like this, you don't have to get 9 out of 9. You know, they're not always easy to get, but if you can, on the back of some revision and a bit of confidence, and just picking the question apart a little bit, if you can pick up 4, 5, 3, hey, that's better than nothing. Okay, you really got to think about how you link into the figure with this one. So for my guys, you don't have to use both pictures. You really don't. But you could be saying, pardon me, it's figure 11 for me. So you can make the point and say, in figure 11, I can see goats are overgrazing in the Thar Desert. This is a human factor. And then going to explain it. And then you might say, oh, I can see in figure 11 the dry land of the Sahara Desert. This could be due to a lack of rainfall, which is a physical reason, and then get into that as well. So it's just about picking the questions apart, having that bit of confidence, and thinking forward. There you go. What more can I say? So hopefully this video helped you to understand a little bit of how you can pick apart questions in these geography papers. Keep tuning in for more videos, and I hope you're all well. All right, thanks guys, take care.